Dear Toastmasters and guests, I am Toastmaster Arun Maniyandan, shall be the surgeon at terms for this demo video today. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting the greater self-confidence and personal growth. As a protocol of Toastmasters International, you are requested to keep away 3 taboo topics: sex, religion, and politics during this meeting. Further, I request you to every one of you switch off your mobile phone or put them in silent mode to avoid the distraction. Also, you are requested to sit comfortably until you are cool. With this note, now I call up our DTM PO for this therefore opening address.
Good evening, all of you. Good evening. I'm so happy to be here today. As an acting president, it's my privilege because our president, Rajesh Palikare, Toastmaster Rajesh Palikare, is on his own duty. He has some emergency at NPCC, I believe, and he's not out from his job. And the next, as per the protocol, next person is supposed to be our VP Education. He is in Dubai. He has not yet come back. Then I got the chance to be here today to open this session. So first of all, let me open the meeting number 164 with all your permission. So I can see a lot of new faces today. I'm so happy to welcome you all to our Toastmasters meeting. Be comfortable, and during the time you will know what is all about the Toastmasters, and you will get introduced by our Toastmaster of the day. And let me inform you all, you might have seen, those who are in our members group, you might have seen we have achieved the Smedley Award. How many of you are aware what is the Smedley Award is all about? So only our senior members. So for newcomers and new members, those who joined recently, time to time Toastmasters conduct a kind of campaign for membership, and it happens 3 times in a year. And in every academic year, the first 10 is during the month of September. The clubs, those who bring 5 new members or 5 new reinstated members, they get a ribbon like this. Each ribbon has got some value, and the awards we receive in a club is appreciated by getting a ribbon from Toastmasters International. So we have achieved this Medley Award by bringing 5 new members to our club, and it happened only because of you all. And so it was not an easy task. Somehow we managed to achieve it. Thank you very much to all our members. Now, with this note, let me invite our energetic Toastmaster, Rashid. But your name is not mentioned.
Very light. Yes, very light, sir.
Yeah, okay. Special. Sorry, I didn't take my specs today. Okay, so let us put our hands together to welcome Toastmaster Rashid to drive this meeting today.
Thank you very much. Toastmasters and guests, a very good evening once again.
Good evening. Good evening.
And we are in the 10th month, October. After the summer season and vacation, I think all are more energetic and with full swing. So, before going to the agenda, can everybody read the theme of today? Psycho. What does it mean? The psycho means the scientific study about a person's behavior and mind process. The word derived from Greek is called psyche, means the mind or soul. So study about our behavior and mind process, scientific studies. is called psychology. So we'll go one by one for today's role player. Let me invite timer Mr. Toastmaster Arun Manikandan to explain the time rule.
Today my role as a timer to monitoring time during the prepared speech, table topics and evaluation. At the end of the meeting, I will report the time of each participant. This will let you know if you delivered your presentation within allotted time and frame. Thank you.
And we have the hall owner, Mr. Ajay Devsi.
Good evening, all of you.
Good evening.
May Rodasi admonished to count the number of unnecessary words, sounds, repetitive words used when you are speaking on stage. For example, you know, I mean, will be counted in my report. These are fillers that would affect your effectiveness in delivering your speech. At the end of the meeting, I will present a report. Over to you. Thank you.
And Wordmaster and Grammarian, Toastmaster Puran Rai.
Toastmaster, good evening Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Good evening. My role today is as a Wordmaster and Grammarian. As a Wordmaster, I'm responsible for providing the word of the day at the meeting. The word of the day is articulate. It should be a word that will help members increase their vocabulary. A word that can be incorporated easily into everyday conversation, but is different from the way people usually express themselves. So the word of the day is articulate, which means having or showing the ability to speak fluently and coherently. And I think that is one of the aims of the Toastmasters Club also. So I would like the speakers, the members to use the word more often. I'm also taking the role as a grammarian. As a grammarian, I'm responsible for commenting on language uses during the course of the meeting. Throughout the meeting, I'll be listening to everyone's word usage, writing down any awkward use or misuse of the language, incomplete sentences, sentences that change direction or misstream, incorrect grammar, malapropisms, etc. with a note of who erred. I will also write down who used word of the day and note those who used it correctly or incorrectly. Thank you.
So one of the articulate speech. Next, we have Quizmaster here, Toastmaster Jamal. The multiple role, and he is the evaluator also for the Toastmaster.
Good evening all.
Good evening.
Today, my role as a quiz master, I will be listening to all the projects proceeding, and at the end of the meeting, I will be checking your listening skills. I will be asking a few questions to assess your listening skills. So please focus on the meeting. Over to you.
And one of the interesting chapter today, table topic master, Toastmaster Vivek.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Today, my role is table topic master. Table topic is improved speaking skills, which can improve our speaking skills. So this is from 1 to 2 minutes 30 seconds. The subjects I will provide volunteers and or I will call the persons those who are not involved mainly in the other speaking projects. Okay.
And the general evaluator, Mr. Rajin Muhammad.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Good evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests.
Good evening.
So I'll be the general evaluator for the day. So as the old saying goes, at Toastmasters, everything gets evaluated. Since evaluations help a person to overcome the existing flaws that one has and also to reinforce the successful good habits that one has. So at the end of the meeting, I'll be providing the feedback on what we did great and what could have been done in a different manner. Over to you.
And we have the thought of the day today, presenting by Toastmaster Arun Kumar.
Toastmasters, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and present guests, good evening.
Good evening.
Normally, when I am supposed to deliver a thought, mostly I used to speak something related to me. Today, just again, I am trying to tell something not about to me, but my company. Yes, you can symbol of it. Now, some of you know, I'm working in a company which is one among the largest in this region, having multiple subsidiaries. And till the date I joined, until few years back, it was like in a company, in a house wherein we have, say, part of the millionaire group. Don't bother what you do. Don't bother how the money comes. On this on first day of the month, salary will be ticking. You don't know from where they are getting the money. I don't know. My fellows don't know. There is no control aspect in the overall functions. Still, it works, minting money. And as you all know, 2-3 years back onwards, all the companies started feeling the heat. So gradually, not suddenly, those people who manage notice some pitfalls here and there in their cash flows. Just trying hard, but it's not coming in the way they expected. Still, the employees, they are expecting, okay, whatever is the case, we will get our salary. Whatever is the case, we are like working in government institutions somewhere, not in this region or other countries. We don't want to bother. We don't want to grow. Just go, come and go. Still, the management understood there's a problem somewhere. Perhaps the workforce, they couldn't understand what is the impact, what is happening there. Generally, they don't do like sacking and that kind of things. Still, they try to manage with the workforce. Just I wanted to mention one thing. They used to construct some, one day you can see if you go to the office, some new constructions, some new things here and there. Second day it is getting remote. We will think, oh, why these people are doing like this? And one particular thing which I noticed 1 month back, there was a construction, an extension happening there, and in the hoardings, I saw they have put in one holding nothing was there, it was very white. We thought like what these guys are doing, they have constructed something and to prevent that from appearing from others, just put a holding. And the very next day, I saw one big sentence written on that. And everything in black, 2 words in red color. That we all know that what it is. If there is a will, there is a way. If there is a will is in big red, very big hoarding, nothing there, pure white. If there is a will, there is a way in red. See, the management told to the employees very simply what you want to do to uplift our company in this situation. What? Change your attitude. If you don't have a will, you will not find any ways. Isn't? Am I correct? Okay.
Thank you for Toastmaster Arun Kumar for a wonderful thought for today's event. Before we go to prepared speech, let me introduce our guest. We got many guests today. So guests, please come one by and introduce yourself, like your name and where you are working and who brings to you.
You just come close to us and just introduce yourself.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Dinesh. I am a student, studying chemical currently, and I heard about Toastmasters through the internet, and I would like to improve my public speaking skills, interpersonal skills. Thank you.
So next guest, everybody can.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Srinidhi Narasimha. I am working as a quality manager in Fabrics Construction Group. Basically, I am a civil engineer, and in Middle East for almost last 14 years I am working in the construction industry. And my colleague Mr. Dinesh Kumar has given me an opportunity to attend this, and it's my privilege to be a part of this Toastmasters. Thank you.
I'm working in safety engineer, working as a safety engineer in Cyprus Construction Group. It's 5 months. And I completed electronics engineering, and then I got divorced. Then I joined this construction group. I am really happy to attend this meeting, and thank you.
You take a right decision if you join to remove our this.
This is my second time, and it's really good to be here. And I'm working as a safety engineer in Fabrics Construction Group. Mr. Dinesh is my manager, and I'm working with my colleagues. These are my colleagues, those 3. And sorry, I was thinking about something else, so that I got it. Really sorry for that. And thank you.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Amal. Worked as a safety engineer in Fabrics Construction Group. Mr. Dinesh is my manager, and this is my first time. That's it. That's why I'm working.
Good evening. My name is Didi. I'm also a engineer in Fabrics Construction Group. And
our manager, Dinesh, gave me an opportunity to come here, and I'm very, very happy to be here.
Thank you. Just one thing I want to mention. I joined just 5 months before in this club, just 5 months. When I stand here as a guest to explain myself, I was really shivering and I need to have water. But within this short time, I could develop a lot, I believe so. So all are welcome to try this one. So here is the, we are starting about the investing section, project speeches. Before that, I would like to invite timer to explain the timing rules.
Good evening to all.
Good evening.
Prepared speech, allotted time 5 to 7 minutes and grace period 30 seconds. 5 minutes, the green light will be shown and 6 minutes, yellow light. At 7 minutes, red light. The remaining time, red light will be shown. Thank you.
So let us welcome Toastmaster. Before that, there is evaluator. So the project speech 2 is doing by Toastmaster Naufal and evaluating by Toastmaster Jamal Sidina. I would like to invite Toastmaster Jamal Sidina to explain the objectives.
Hello, Toastmasters. Good evening.
Good evening.
Toastmaster Novel is going to do his second speech of competent communication track, which is project 2, organize your speech. The objectives of this speech are: select an appropriate outline which allows listeners to easily follow and understand your speech. Second objective, make your message clear with supporting material directly contributing to that message. Third objective, use appropriate transition when moving from one idea to another. Fourth one, create strong opening and conclusion. Time allocated 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Novel.
Let us invite Toastmaster Naufal for his project 2.
Have you heard about musk deer or a kasturi deer? It's one of an animal. Have you heard about that? It's actually one of the substance which is we obtain from a male deer, and it's one of the precious and priceless products. And you know one thing, it's used for a making of a fragrance products. Mostly it's used for that. And unfortunately, the deer are not aware that fragrance is from his own body. Without knowing it, the deer is running behind of it to find the source. Toastmasters of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, a warm good evening to you.
Good evening.
Let me share you an ancient story of a king who was ruled his country with prosperous health and wealth, and the people were very satisfied by his rule and leadership and kindness. And he was ruling very goodly, very smoothly, and he was well known for his one of the passion, which is called cockfight. Have you heard about that one? Cockfight. It's another word we can use as a chicken. Okay, it's a cockfight. Okay, and he used it to challenge with neighboring countries. And he defeat other countries' kings, and he was earned immense of treasures, wealth, and moreover that a good pride among his people. And he was going on very smoothly, and he was ruling his country very quiet and calm. The people were very happy. At the same time, he got an idea and he just announced a statement in front of a public, which was he wants to make a competition among the people. So he just announced, if anybody can defeat me in this competition, which is we call the cockfight, I'm ready to give entire my property or whatever you require, I'm ready to give you. He was thinking that nobody will take the challenge. But unfortunately, a poor man came forward and took the challenge. So that the king was a gentleman and he agreed that one. And he announced to entire crew and the kingdom to arrange a competition. He wants to make that is one of the biggest event never ever happened before or after that. And the entire crew started to make a program for that, and they are starting to invite all and near countries, rulers, and everybody is get ready for that. And similarly, the both people, the poor man and the king, is started to give a practice the cocks. And after that, the final day is reaching. So they have arranged a huge audience. There is a stadium, there is a huge stadium, and the stage also is there. And the day of the final days came, and the king and that poor man is stand to face, and there was one of the circle of that one. The both are the captain, their cock inside of that circle, and they start to fight each other. The fight was very stunning performance. The cocks are starting to peck each other. It was amazing. The audience was giving that kind of the claps. It's fantastic. We cannot say how to explain that. That kind of competition was that. And the game is getting to climax. Unfortunately, that king was defeated by the poor man. It was shocking for king and entire kingdom, because he never ever expect that one. And he has that confidence because he has done it lot of different types of countries and different types of the stages. So he has that confidence. But it was used. That poor man made it that way. And he wants to make that promise. He wants to do the promise to that poor man. He agreed that one. And he announced to the public. Before that, he has a question. Dear, let me ask you one question. What is the secret of your victory? So the poor man said to him, my lord, it's very simple. I just kept my cock instead of a box, which is arranged by a four-sided mirror. And I teach my cock, look at the mirror, just start with this image which is reflecting in the mirror. So the cock is automatically jumping, so the image is reflecting there. So what happening? The cock is thinking it's an enemy. So gradually it was going on throughout this going on. So gradually this cock is obtained an ultimate power and he is done a victory. So dear friends, the moral of the story is our musk or a fragrance is inside of us. But without knowing that, we are running to find many things. So let's make a U-turn and come and stand, look at a mirror with your inner eye so you can see who you are or what are you. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nofel. It was a wonderful speech. Articulate. You bring us to the olden terms, and I really imagine how the fights are going on. So, let us invite Toastmaster Muhammad Razik for his project number 4. Before that, he is evaluating by Toastmaster Dinesh Kumar.
Good evening, Toastmasters, especially Toastmaster Toastmaster Muhammad Rasid. Hope that wish you a good speech ahead. The objective of speech number 4 is select right words and sentence structure to communicate your ideas clearly, accurately, vividly, articulately. Use rhetorical devices to enhance and emphasize ideas, eliminate jargon and unnecessary words, use correct grammar. All the best.
So let us invite Toastmaster Muhammad Razik for his project number 4.
I had a friend, I don't know whether I can call him as a friend. He was with me when I was doing my undergraduate bachelor's program. He was a topper in the class. He spoke very well, I was not. And all the teachers used to like him, all the girls used to like him. And I was not happy about that. I never liked that guy. And I didn't know why I didn't like it. But you know why I didn't like it. Later, I had another friend who married a girl, very beautiful girl. He actually married after my marriage, more beautiful than my wife. She's very rich, and she was a medical graduate. And she was so humble, and she knows how to deal with people in a nice way. For some reason, when I saw her, I was not feeling comfortable. I was not feeling happy. Toastmaster of the evening, Rashid, fellow Toastmasters, guests. The point I want to make today is beat the animal in you. As a human being, we don't feel comfortable when you see somebody growing. It could be tough. You can name it as jealous. There is a concept in Indian spirituality which says that there is God in every stone. In a way, it is interpreted that a stone, if you symbolize God with the idol of God, in every stone there is God. But there are a lot of impurities, extra things that a sculptor, an artist, will remove to find the God. So in each one of you, there is God. But there are a lot of impurities that is making you, or that is stopping you from becoming God. One of the famous saying by Swami Vivekananda, he says that, how many of you know Swami Vivekananda? Okay, for sure. He said there are 3 levels of human development. One is Mruga Manushya, then Manushya Manushya, and then Deva Manushya. Meaning that the first level of human development is you're an animal man. And then you develop to a human man. Doesn't mean that you're perfect. You're feeling jealous, you're feeling selfish. This is all part of human beings. But if you have those things more, then you're still in the animal, which means the Mruga Manushya. And then you move to the next level. Once you're able to control several aspects of, or several negative aspects of a human being, you're able to reach to the next level called Deva Manushya. I'll just give a simple example. I've been thinking about it for the last 3-4 years because I was writing a book on divine personality. And then I realized that it's possible I was talking about the friend who married a beautiful girl, and I was not feeling comfortable. Later I heard that he was having some problems in his marital life, family life. I was feeling happy about it. I don't know why. Later, the guy who was the top scorer in my college, used to be the star in my college, got a very good job. When I heard that he lost his job, I was feeling happy about it. This is what the impurities in us, the bad things in us, the animal in us. So the point I want to stress today is, can we beat that animal? And it might look very ideological, which we cannot implement. But I think I've been trying this to an extent. I'm not saying that I'm a Deva Manishka now, but I'm trying, it's a destination. If you can go up to the next level 10%, you're a better person. If you can go up to the 20%, you're better. So you don't have to reach that 100% Deva Manishya. Each level you have, if you move up, you're a better person. I know these days I don't get angry with my wife. For the last 1.5 years, I never got angry with my wife because we used to fight every day. Like many of us, we do that, right? And now, when she fights, I just smile at her. I've been trying, it's not easy. And now she stops fighting because she doesn't feel comfortable. Because she's like, come on, you just say something. So I just smiled. I said, you're right. And another occasion, a year back, there was an issue, a property issue between my mother's property and the next neighboring property. And the guy was, using very bad language. You know how it happens in those villages. And then people said, why don't you just file a case against him? So I was keeping quiet. I said, it's okay. I was trying to control my human weaknesses. And then there was a police case against him. Later he wanted to go abroad here. He came to the UAE. And he came to me and said, can you just help me withdraw that case? And I said, fine, I have no problem. So this is what the way we practice ourselves to control our negative emotions so that we can move to the Deva Manishya. So beat the animal in you. Try to beat the animal in you and try to move up to the next level, and all of us, I hope, one day become closer to Deva Manishya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Razik, for a wonderful speech. Beat animals within ourselves. Okay, next we have the evaluators. Before that, I would like to invite Toastmaster Arun Kumar, Arun Manikanda, to present the title.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Naufal finished his project 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Toastmaster Mohammad Razik take 6 minutes and 29 seconds. Both are qualified to voting. Thank you.
So Toastmaster Naufal is being evaluated by Toastmaster Jamal Sidina. Let us welcome Toastmaster Jamal Sidina.
It's good if you can announce the timing for evaluation.
Before that.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Evaluation time allotted 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes the green light will be shown, and 2 minutes 30 seconds yellow light, and 3 minutes red light. Thank you.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, especially Toastmaster Naufal. Good evening once again.
Good evening. Good evening.
Toastmaster Naufal just finished his project number 2. And I can say that you have successfully finished completed this project successfully. You are awesome. Your speech was really very good. I was personally not shocked, but I was very impressed by the way you delivered your speech today. The topic was very clear, and you were able to take us through your speech from the opening to the body and to the conclusion. And especially the most thing I like about your speech was the conclusion. Conclusion was so strong that we were able to get the idea, to understand your message clearly. You were able to tell us the story and the moral of the story in a clear way, in a clear manner, which I believe it was very good in your speech. One more thing, you have this transition from the start to the middle of your speech and to the conclusion as well. In general, I really was impressed again. And the thing is, I have seen your first icebreaker last week only. And between that, in 2 weeks, you were able to stand here and perform in such manner. You are going to be a great speaker in the future, Toastmasters Mussafah. However, since we are all here for learning, there are just few things I want you to pay attention to. One is the eye contact with the audience. That gives you more comfort, more interaction with the audience. And it will help you also perform your speech in a very good manner. Second is the pace. You sometimes speak so fast that you are not able to catch up your idea and to understand your message. Try to speak, that you will treat it in the next speech, but it is something also you may pay attention to. Third one is the use of stage. You were very confident, but you are stationary in one place, so it's better also to move because you have the space to use. Apart from that, your speech was excellent, and I wish you all the best, Toastmasters Mussafah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jamal Sinha, giving a valuable evaluation. Next, Toastmaster Muhammad Raziki is evaluated by Toastmaster Dinesh Kumar. Let us invite Toastmaster Dinesh Kumar.
Good evening, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
Especially Toastmaster Muhammad. Beat the animal inside you. Beat the animal. First of all, I have to beat an animal inside myself for hearing such a good, articulate speech. Why Mr. Toastmaster Peyo knows about it? Because I presented the same topic, the same project speech number 4 here, and I was so bad in it that I requested him to disqualify my speech, and I did it again. So animal rest. So I was animal man. Okay. Then I controlled animal as you progressed. Okay, compared to your sacrifices, mine is nothing. But I was still enjoying the speech. Anyone who can say anything bad about this speech, not bad, area for improvement for this speech, of project speech number 4, it was very quite amazing speech. You clearly knows what to say. You clearly knows which words to be chosen, and you clearly knows what way it is to be told. That was fantastically articulated speech. Now, by saying that, I need to say something, at least something. So, when you asked about Swami Vivekananda to a group of all Asians, particularly Indians, do you know that? Do you know who is Swami Vivekananda? Certainly, all
yes,
will know that. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing, your focus was only to this area. Your viewers, those people are also very handsome. So you can see them also. Okay. Certainly I was sitting here. Okay.
I was trying to impress you actually.
Okay, thank you. Overall, this speech was excellent. Keep this challenge to improve further on things which you came through, and I expect all other speakers who did not achieve so far up to project speech number 4 to keep this as a standard to come forward. Hoping to hear your future speeches more, and more times I will kill animal in myself. Sure.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh Kumar, who killed this animal a little and moved a bit to the human border. So, I would like to ask timer again to describe about.
Good evening, Toastmaster.
Good evening.
Toastmaster Jamal, it takes 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Toastmaster Dinesh Kumar takes 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Both are qualified for voting. Thank you.
Before we are going to the next session, is there anybody who can crack it? Voluntarily, somebody? No, Toastmaster does.
This is about one of my teachers who was an international trainer, conducted training programs in Japanese. He went to Japan. How many of you can understand Japan? Japanese. So I'm safe, okay. So he went to Japan and to conduct a training program. And as you know, those days, it just happened almost 10 years back, and those days Japanese didn't speak English much. So this guy went to the airport and he couldn't recognize different people. It's like they all looked alike. So there was a guy who at the airport, and if you go to Japanese those days, any conferences, you will see that English speaking, as you will see some people wearing the badge English speaking. These are the people who would be speaking English if you want to, for the international speakers. So this guy, his name is Sunil Kumar, he arrived at the airport, and this guy came here, it's like we normally say that, I'm Muhammad, and that's the way we introduce ourselves. So he said, I don't clearly remember that words, he said, after when he met Sunil Kumar, he said, Toshiko. And Sunil Kumar said, Sunil Kumar. And so he dropped him in the evening at the hotel. In the morning, he was the person to take care, but he didn't recognize this guy because he wore a different dress, and Japanese all look alike for us. So he thought it's a different person. Then he came again in the morning, he said, Toshiko. He said, Sunil Kumar. And he went there, conducted he was a technical person, conducting some technical training, came back. And in the evening, this guy, there was a guy, again, it was the same guy, who came again, he said, Toshiko. He said, Sunil Kumar. And he went back to, and then he had a friend living in Japan, one of his foreign relatives, and they said, we'll catch up in the evening for dinner, after dinner. And they met, and he said, teach me some basic Japanese words so that I can impress my people. And he said, when you see a person, we bow in Japanese and say, hi, how are you? Which is Toshiko. That's what this guy was saying. And in the morning, by the time he realized that this is the same guy who is responsible to take care of him, Sunil Kumar, from when he arrives at the airport till he goes back. So in the morning, and he was so feeling ashamed that my God, and he was supposed to repeat the same Toshiko. And he thought he's introducing himself. And in the morning, he came and he said, my God, made a big mistake, and that's very bad. And he thought he would stop. Okay? And in the morning, this guy came in the morning to pick him from the hotel to the place where he's going to conduct training program. And Sunil Kumar took the initiative. Come on, this time I should impress this guy. I've been making a big mistake. And he said, Toshiko. And the other guy said, Sunil Kumar.
It's a new job to me actually. Okay. So let us go back to our today's theme, psychology, psycho. When we hear about psychology, we all normally think about the person who is totally abnormal, totally lost his mind setup and doing something. But actually, the psycho side is divided into two parts. One is small science and the big science. The small science, the causes, the psychologists, they say the causes, the reason who will get some type of small psychological issues. One is less sleep. A person has to sleep at least 6 to 7 hours minimum. How many of you are sleeping 6 to 7 hours? Especially after we all got this with internet and Wi-Fi. I think very few. Less sleep as well as the oversleep will lead you to some certain kind of small psychological issues. Like you might go for depression, or your mood will change. You will become very emotional. Maybe you get very angry very soon with your wife or kids, or maybe you will be like get very sadness or depressed if somebody is teasing you. See, one of the reasons is less sleep or oversleep. And I will continue in this session. We have one amazing section is waiting. Table topic which is conducted by one of the elegant Toastmaster Vivek. So let us welcome Toastmaster Vivek. Before that, Mr. Kumar does table topic time.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Table topics allowed time 1 to 2 minutes. The grace period 30 seconds. 1 minute the green light will be shown, and 1 minute 30 second yellow light, and 2 minutes red light. The remaining time that will be shown. Thank you.
Good evening once again. I'm going to explain what is table topics. Table topic enables a member to develop the skills of improv speaking. Table topic help train members to quickly organize and express their thoughts. You can think of the table topic speech as a mini speech with an opening, a body, and a conclusion. This is also provides a speaking opportunity for any member who is not on duty in the meeting agenda. The guest may also participate if they wish. The time is already read out by timer. So now it's time for start hour. Are you ready?
Yes.
So I'm not calling anybody. Those who are interested voluntarily, please come and get their subjects. Anybody from this side voluntarily? Toastmaster P.O. Anthony, senior. So, I think we can give tough subject for it.
So there's no luck. Try my luck.
Sure.
It's okay. It's no problem. Please, please.
No, next one.
So long.
So, Toastmaster, your subject is you don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go and see what happens. I'm repeating, you don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go and see what happens. Thank you.
Toastmasters of the evening, distinguished guests and fellow members, good evening.
Good evening.
If I am right to understand this subject, the long subject, let me put it this way. Things might not work according to our wish. Take the challenges the way how it comes. I think that's exactly how we all live and we survive. We might schedule a year, we might pre-plan many things, our holidays, our days, our work, but it might change 360 degree to opposite direction. I have experienced it in my life. Let us take this today's meeting. I was very comfortable to come to a meeting as a VP membership today. But unfortunately, I don't know whether it is fortunately, by 5 o'clock I got a call from our president saying, "Will you please take care of the meeting? Today I cannot make out." I said, "We have a VP education." Then I called a VP education. He replied, "Oh, I was about to call you, I am in Dubai today." Then I called treasurer. Toastmasters John, are you there on time? Oh, sorry, I was also about to call you. I'm also not coming today. But when I looked at the agenda, all the names are there. So we might schedule all our activities well in advance. But the fact, when the time comes, it might turn 360 degrees the other way. But we must be ready to challenge the unexpected at every moment in our life. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Theo. How articulate in his speech and delivering that. That is what we are seeing, experience in Toastmasters. Now let me invite another volunteer. Okay. So I am just moving this one. It's very simple. Being a non-senior person. So your subject is good leadership is not about advancing yourself. It is about advancing your team. I repeat, good leadership is not about advancing yourself. It is about advancing your team. Okay.
Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, good evening once again.
Good evening.
Very good topic. Just if you, I don't know how many of you were there in the last meeting, there was an education session. What is supposed to be written below in this? What is the tagline of Toastmasters International?
Where leaders are made.
Where leaders are made, right? How leaders are made?